That's optimism. Okay, and then finally we have our last panelist, Paola Mattioli, CFO of Cafima Group. Please, Paola.
Well, we started the discussion on piracy, and I'd like to conclude on the same topic. My question is, a ship sailing off the coast of East Africa or a supply vessel trading in Nigeria, they're both facing a risk of piracy attack. Do you reckon that there is a difference in the approach and the behavior of pirates in the two different areas? And in that case, must there be a difference in the approach of ship owners when they're putting up actions in order to prevent or to try to resolve such a case of piracy attack?
I think, again, we go back to the BMP. I think there are region-specific solutions, things like working with the MSC, HOA, and registration there. So that's one specific area which is specific to the Somali problem. But there are other issues such as the use of razor wire, the interesting and I think unresolved question about the so-called citadel approach. And I think that's of much wider geographical application.
Perhaps I can just add that certainly I am seeing in arbitration some different kinds of disputes arising from the piracy problem. One is as to whether an owner is entitled to refuse to sail in one of the relevant areas. Another one that I can think of has to do with a claim for additional expenses incurred as a result of taking steps with a view to protecting the vessel. In one case, I think it involved putting armed guards on board. It does occur to me, and this is a slightly irreverent suggestion, but an idea that has come to me out of the whole of this session is that you might say, put them up against the wall and shoot the bastards. And you could apply that to pirates, oil inspectors, and the oil majors. And if there may be one or two people in the room who would like to apply it to lawyers and arbitrators as well.
We are receiving strong suggestions. So I would like to see also if somebody from the audience would like to make any question, and if there is anything Mr. Trifilis, I understand probably you have some.
Like to invite our neighbors to come over to Greece, where we have a model of shipping which is quite asset heavy. We have a long track record of managing a crisis, and we have banks that are very much more capital constrained than the banks in Italy. And I think there is a much more common culture between our two countries, evidently, and I think it's both an opportunity for Italian capital to come into the absence of German and finance, and it's an opportunity for Greek shipping to look to not necessarily the big syndicate international market or the export credit being granted by the Chinese with many invisible strings, but in fact to continue to operating in the successful way that we have. So it's a question or an open invitation, let's say, for some of the bankers to visit us in Piraeus. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think Intesa and Unicredito and all the rest of their colleagues, they should collect this invitation of yours. Certainly in Greece there is a lot to be done, and I think we have a lot to learn from the Greeks in many senses, in many things. I'm talking also about cabotage, in which you are certainly masters. Anybody else wants to make any comment or any question? Fine. Then with this, we close basically the last session. I thank very much the speakers, and I thank very much the panelists and all those ones who intervene in this session. And I think at this point, Mr. Lauro would like to say a few words of conclusion. Funny enough, we are on time. I mean, I am impressed by our efficiency, but anyhow, okay, thank you.
So it's all, we owe all of this to the chairman who have been riding very fast. Well, I would like to add just a few words, which are my thanks to everybody. I think as a first shipping of a law edition, this was a very successful one, and if it was successful, it was because of the high level of the participants. In one email, I mentioned the fact that once Winston Churchill said that it's much more difficult to prepare a short speech, a brief speech, Bruce Harris would say, than a long one. I think everybody has been able to say, to speak, to communicate, you know, in a very brief manner. I think we should do this again, not every 19 years, but I hope every year. And so I would like to thank all of you. There is a delegation also of colleagues from Gino. I mentioned just some very senior one, Giorgio Berlingieri, Massimo Ordiglia, Francesco Siccardi. You know, there are a lot of lawyers from Naples, I can see. In terms of seniority, I just mentioned Vittorio Porzio, who is there. There are some of the most distinguished and most important ship owner. I thank all of them. Sponsors, I thank Professor Berlingieri. I thank the foreign guests that make this event a very qualified and important international event. I think it's very important that now comes the best time. We have worked very hard and we can enjoy this evening. Obviously, many of you are staying here. They may want to go to wash their hands, but everybody who is participating, and you, as you know, are all invited at the dinner at 8 o'clock. We could have some drinks at the bar at 7. It will start the drinks, the aperitif, but everybody could order whatever he would like. I thank Professor Francesco Berlingieri, who is, I think, committed to give us another keynote speech next year. And thanks to the sponsor, I think we have got this prospect to do this again with a little bit more experience, so it will be, I hope, even better. And I think we should be all very proud, because when something starts, it's good to be in the first group. We hope that our group will take new friends in. I thank the president of the Italian Shipowners, and by thanking him, I thank all the shipowner and the industry members. He has been also has prepared this session very well, and his presence gives really a very large audience to our works. And thank you very much for coming. I hope to see you again next year. But I would like Mr. D'Amico just to say the last word of this conference.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lauro. What I would like to say, I will be very fast, so I'm not going to take any time from the drinks. But It's been a great day, and as I said this morning, it's been, for my, at least from my point of view, it's been the first time that I met in a forum on legal matters. The legal side of things, of course, is very important for us owners. Sometimes saved our lives, so sometimes many times, and we cannot really, let's say, underestimate this side of our business. So I hope that next year we will be there again, and I will work for it if I have to. Not only, I invite everybody of you, if you have ideas and things, to send it to Mr. Lauro, because we certainly will be treated and look at it. And because it's something which has been extremely, let's say, important to learn, because I learned a lot of things today. And I saw refundment guarantees in a very suspicious way, more than I used to be in the past. But thank you very much to all of you, and here again, I hope to see you next year. I will see you for dinner, but I hope to see you for the thing next year. Thank you very much.